Three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
Well, as you can see, that is not Phil Mackey there in the middle of us. I'm Jeremiah Sirles, Alex Boone, and we're joined today by my former teammate, current NFL guard for the San Francisco 49ers. I think he's like 35 now, getting old.
32, mind your goddamn business. Don't talk about him like that.
We welcome 30 seconds in, I'm ready getting shot.
We already welcomed Jon Feliciano into the O-Line Committee. John, welcome back. We wanted you to have you on the show a long time ago. I know you've been coming back from the injury and the whole bit there, but thanks for joining us for a little bit of time here.
No problem, buddy, man. I missed you. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, we're grinding on the agent life on this side, and then obviously we started the old podcast here, the Offensive Line Lifestyle Podcast, which if anyone lives an offensive line lifestyle, it is you, my friend. So good news is you're back coming off IR this week, right? So kind of how's that whole journey been, and kind of give us an update on where you're headed.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been biting at the freaking bit for a while, trying to get Lynch to bring me back up, but you know, he had a GM hat on, and you know, it's about. I'm excited to get rolling.
Absolutely. Well, so you start your career in Vegas, right?
Oakland.
Yeah,
That's two dings already, dude. Jesus, you are.
It's all right.
I'll wear it. Right. So you start Oakland. You spend 4 years there. You come over to Buffalo, spend time there with Josh, and now obviously you're in. You come over to San Francisco and with Purdy.
Let's not forget the year in the Giants. Then your guy.
Dude, I wasn't gonna bring it up. So funny story.
Do it.
John texts me going into the draft of 2022 or 3, I think it is. And he's like, dude, the Giants have to draft your guy. He goes, and if they don't, he's like, they're going to bring me back. And as soon as they drafted John Michael in the second, he's like, motherfucker.
It turned out to be the best thing for me. I mean,
it did. You know, but I wanted to ask you a little bit about kind of, you've played with a lot of different quarterbacks. Right. And just the difference between guys like Josh and Daniel Jones and Brock Purdy, and just kind of what that's like for you, is especially as like a younger player now going into being more of the veteran guy on the team, and just kind of like what that journey's been like for you.
Yeah. So when I was in Buffalo, I feel like me and Josh were in a similar situation where, you know, I didn't play much in Oakland. And I think it was his second year. And, you know, we're both new, like, starters, and I think we had time to grow together. And you see what Josh has become. He's, you know, probably the best quarterback in the league right now, you know, besides that guy that wears red. But, you know, I pick Josh any day.
I'm with
you. You know, he has all the accolades. And then with Daniel, it was my first time being like the vet, I feel like. And, man, I had a great time in Jersey that year. And I mean, I love Daniel Jones. I think he gets a bad rap, especially in the New York media. I can see him being like Sam Darnold, where you leave New York, maybe have to, you know, be a backup for a year, and then you see what Sam's doing with the Vikings. And then now with Purdy, I'm Brock is a different kind of guy. That dude is like, I remember last year, he's always freaking studying. Like, he's always has his head down in the playbook. And with Kyle's offense, you need to be like that. And he is so even keeled, and like, you try to be like a vet for him and try to like give him stuff, but he is so disciplined, and like, he doesn't need any of that. And it's a testament of why he is where he is right now, being, you know, the last guy drafted and you know, top 5 quarterback right now in the league.
Absolutely. And talking about the offense that you guys play in with Kyle Shanahan and how many checks and motions and shift there has to be a ton of information going into that. But at the same time, like Jay kind of said, you've come from a bunch of teams and you've played with a lot of different O-line coaches. Juan Castillo, you were with Bobby Johnson, now you're with Chris Furster. What's kind of the difference that each one of those guys has had, and who do you think has probably been one of your favorite?
Yeah, man, I got lucky, man. I've been with Jeff Stoutland in Miami my first year, and he recruited me there. Then Art Kehoe, who was a legend at Miami. Mike Tice in Oakland.
Mike Tice.
Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah. And then Bobby for, a few years. And then, can't forget Tom Cable for a year. And then Firster. Firster is I feel like I'm lucky having Firster now. At my age, where like we can just be more like we work together more than he's just like the head honcho guy in the room, where it's like man, I love picking Firster's mind because he's just he's been around so long, and especially in this offense where he's grown in this offense and helped this offense grow, and then with Bobby, it's just like his first year coaching O-line was in Buffalo, and we had a prior relationship in Oakland where he was the tight ends coach and like always looked out for me because he did the goal line and short yardage packages, and he would always throw me in there, and it was fun watching Bobby grow as the O-line coach. But by the time we got to the Giants, man, because he's always been really good in like X's and O's kind of thing. But when we got to the Giants, I think he switched to coaching to the dumbest guy in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He was always sometimes it would go over people's head when he was trying to talk about stuff, and I think when he got to the Giants, he kind of switched or fine-tuned the way he was teaching things.
Yeah, and the one thing I wanted to ask you about is, you're now kind of in this era of you were pre the new CBA, you're now in the new post CBA area with the OTAs being what they are and the training camp practice what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Alex and I talk about us on this show all the time of why are young guys in the league not developing anymore? Like, why are young guys coming into the league and not being able to have the success that we remember having when we were younger players, when you were younger players, of OTAs just being like, hey, the helmets are on, but boys, we're going. Mm-hmm. But like, it's on. And, what have you kind of seen in recent past that you think is either, are we on base with that? Or do you really think that's just these young guys aren't coming in ready? Or, what is it about the young linemen coming in the league that just aren't ready to play?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. My last 2 years, OTAs and training camp have been the hardest of my career. So
really, wait,
yeah, we
Shanny, you don't fuck around.
Well, I mean, I think that's a testament to why you guys have gone deep into the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Like you can compare and contrast that with teams that we know that do just helmets or not even, and it's like walkthrough, right? And then they start the year so slowly. Like, so yeah, talk to us about kind of what your experiences with that is.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a little bit of that, and then especially I feel like in college nowadays, like they don't really be coaching. Like it's completely different. Like when I was in Miami, we ran a pro style offense. Like we did, some of the same stuff that I did when I went to Oakland. It was kind of the same, almost some of the same stuff. Like working on people can't get off on the cadence. Like they're always like, it's so different. Like the clap shit.
Don't get us started on the clap.
And then like quarterbacks, like I've met quarterbacks that came into the league that haven't took a snap under center, and like centers not like haven't had much snaps with the guys under them.
I played with guys that weren't even in a huddle. They're like, "What's a huddle? Where do I stand?" I go, "What? Are you fucking serious?" They're like, "Oh no, dude, seriously. Every play we just line up to the ball." I mean, it is a different culture change, but at the same time, how does that change how you've had to coach guys? Do you feel like you have to be a little more lenient? Do you feel like you have to take them from square zero as opposed to when we came in and they were like, "Nobody gives a fuck about you, rookie"?
Yeah, no, I give them a little bit of that. Yeah. Definitely shock them in the system, but then when we get into like the room, I love up on them a little bit. It's like, hey, like I'm here. I'm trying to help you, especially nowadays. Like we have Pooney, who's been killing it for us. And like I'm at the point in my career right now, like year 10. Like I'm lucky to be here. Obviously, competitive side, I would love to play. I want to play. Like I'm not here just to cash checks, but at the same time, I get the same kind of gratification from working with Pooney and seeing how he's doing right now. Like I love watching him fucking ball. And like there's things that I see in his game, and I know that I could help him get better at.
Absolutely.
Which is like why I'm so excited to be practicing right now. Like a few weeks ago, I was like I had a meeting with Kyle, and I was like, hey man, like I'm dying out here, man. I need it. I want to do, like, I want to help. Like, I want to do something. And like being back, like yesterday, like just being in Pooney's ear, like on the field, besides just on like in the classroom, it's just completely different. Yeah,
it's almost more gratifying than actually blocking the 3 technique when you see guys that you're helping and you're mentoring and you're like, hey, you're so much better at this, and then you see them go out and do it and you're like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you. But at the same time, I totally understand the competitive side. And when you talk about that, the one thing I love about the Niners, and I obviously played for them for a long time, I know the Yorks very well, and I know that they demand a very competitive team, but at the same time, your team is always one of the toughest and feistiest, and you guys always, do you feel like that comes from a John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan approach?
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like, man, the way the D-line fires off the ball every freaking play, it's like, bro, relax.
It's August, dude.
We'd be like, dude, stop. He'd be like, you don't understand.
Bro, it's like Hargrave is hurt right now, but like that dude is sometimes unblockable. But try to block back on Hargrave, like it's freaking a pass, stutter pass or something, and you're the center and you're trying to block back at him on a 2-eye. Like, come on, bro. And he, like, I don't know how I feel like they always know what the play is going to be.
Always. That's because they're looking at the sheet, dude. That's exactly what
they always have. The script.
You ever get up there and go like, hey, you, or me, and when they're supposed to pull, you ever do that? And just be like, you block him. I'm out of here.
100%. 100%.
Guard looks at you like, what the fuck, man? What are you doing? Like, calling an audible, bro. Hey, listen, one of the things that I love about this team, too, is that you guys are finding a way to win with guys that are hurt. You talk about you're coming back, and I'm so excited. I'm one of your biggest fans because I love the way you go out there, and you're always down to fight. You're super chippy. But you talk about CMC coming back and guys like that. Yeah. What's the vibe on the team right now?
We're all excited, man. I mean, when we got back in the room yesterday, like, that you can feel the energy in there where, you know, guys came back fresh and off the bye week and ready to go. And, you know, like you said, we got CMC coming back and we got Juwan coming back. Like, we're ready. We're ready to go. Like, it's been rough, especially like, you know, I spent a lot of time with CMC, you know, rehabbing and stuff.
Training room buddies.
Yeah. And like, we call each other Cracker and Bean Dip. Like we're on the field yesterday, and we were just, you know, I was like, Cracker, and like, Bean, and like it was just like, man, talk about a guy that works his tail off. There's no one I've seen that works like Christian or Bosa. Like that, those two are both like insane with what they do. And Christian was, you know, warming up 10-15 minutes before anyone was on the field, and like you can see the passion that he has, and I'm just excited to watch him play.
All right, we have to ask you, because we're both huge fanboys of him. What is it like playing with Trent Williams? Like, what is a deuce with Trent Williams feel like, and just like how is his like in the room and that type of thing? How is it with him?
It doesn't make sense.
Breaks your brain.
Yeah, man. It's just like
cannot compete.
And at the age he has Wednesdays off. Like, he has like
vet days.
He has his vet days. And like with anyone else, you'd be like, oh, he'll probably need a couple more. Like he missed all training camp, right? And then his first double on a 4-eye is fucking it's just like well, I know you haven't been doing that. Like how does this make sense? But like, so Aaron got hurt during training camp last year. He had a concussion. And like I remember the first time, like it was like a backed up situation, and I feel like the reason I'm still in the league is because I'm smart and like I have decent, you know, pretty good technique. And like I went to go pass off a game, and I'm like usually like before the tackle reel, like I'm usually saying something, but as I'm saying, like I'm passing off a game, Trent is like on my shoulder. Like he already knew it was happening, and I was like, "What is going on?" Or like I remember we were playing against the Commanders there last year, and I was playing left guard. And just the way he's able to diagnose the defense and read the safeties, and just know what's going to happen. And it's such a joy when I get to play the left guard and play with Trent, because it's just like I don't got to play center, so I don't got to think as much. I'm thinking in the guard mentality, and then Trent is handling some of the. It's like I don't got to think. I just get to just.
Not much to do here. I'm going to let you do all the work. You're going to do all the thinking, and I'm just going to chill here. And now I got to ask this. You see somebody punch him, and he gets up. What's the first thing running through your fucking head at that moment?
Helmet on.
Somebody give me a helmet, quick.
Dude, that dude from the Chiefs, did you saw that punch that
Oh yeah.
I mean, you want to play with your life. What are you doing?
That's the best answer I could have heard. But honestly, when you see those guys again down the road, that's going to be an epic war, especially because I know Trent won't forget that. And at the same time, he got fined more. And I was like, for what?
Bro, I mean, what are we doing? Like, I mean, I'm always the first guy, so like
that's why I love you, dude.
What I'm about to say is not gonna make sense, but like you gotta like start. We gotta like get the video. Like, why did Trent get kicked out and the other guy didn't? Like, what is it? That makes no sense.
Yeah,
dude, it's always that
he wasn't gonna leave either. He just stood on the sideline like, no, I'm gonna wait for this.
I know.
Game to end.
I was looking at him, I was like, are you like? You're kicked out, right? What are we doing? Like,
I'm waiting.
Everybody. Oh, it's funny because like security just stood next to him. Like, no, you tell him. You tell him we need to leave. Like,
Dude, I just pictured like I'll be waiting for you in the parking lot, right? Like just a little Happy Gilmore moment.
Well, the question is, he gets kicked out. What does Furster say? Furster's probably like, God damn it! Ah, God.
Basically, dude, Furs on the sideline is literally my favorite thing to watch. He just loses his damn mind as like the plays are going on, and then when we get to the like on the bench, he's so calm. It's so like you wouldn't if you weren't like. I spent 6 or 7 weeks on the bench last year, and like if you were in the game, you would never realize how much he actually loses his damn mind.
Yeah,
because when you get to the bench, it's like calm, cool, and he's like joking, like he's like telling jokes and shit. But when the offense is on the field, that dude is crazy, and I love
lunatic.
I love watching him.
He's one of the coolest guys because honestly, all week, he's really just trying to instruct you. Like, he's not really coaching you as much as he's like, hey, I wouldn't do that. And he's one of the godfathers of running off the football. And he was one of the first ones to be like, dude, you guys need to short set more. Like, we need to challenge these guys. And that's when I was like, dude, this guy's mentality is fucking incredible. But when you talk to him, he's just so like, hey, what's up, stud? And you're like, oh, this guy's the best. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Dude, and talking about running off the ball, like, that was so foreign to – what I've been doing, like deuce blocks, like we were taught, same
cha.
Yeah, try to shoulder to shoulder, try to blow the dude up, and like once when I got here, I was like, what are we doing? Like this doesn't make like this isn't football. And then you go through the weeks, and then you start play a preseason game, and you're like. Oh yeah, that guy's blocking him. That 3 technique is blocking himself because he thinks we're running an outside zone, and then you can get up to the backers so much faster, and it like opens up the holes. And like, man, once I like, not saying like bought in, but once I like understood like what we were doing, it made my job so much easier. Like as a guard or like passing off like they bring a blitz and they stunt the line, and like usually like. Beforehand, you would try to like pass, like feed it to the center, or like if your center is just running off the ball and he's not going to get picked by that guy, and then that hole is going to be so much bigger because as a guard, you just you catch him and you take him where he wants to go, and you have Christian back there reading it, and the holes become gigantic.
Well, I think that just speaks to, everyone keeps asking, Christian's been out, and then Jordan Mason goes in and has all the success, and then Isaac Garendo goes in and has all the success. And, you can point, and obviously Christian's a generational talent, right? We're not taking it away. But so much of that is the scheme within the scheme of what you just mentioned. And, we love breaking down Niners tape because it's so unique. right? You compare that to looking at like Baltimore's tape or the Broncos tape, and it's this double teams and all up, and then you turn your tape, and it's just like a 10-yard dash every single snap for the offensive line. And that's why I think this run game has just been able to continue to be so successful, continue to be able to run off the ball and do those things, because it is so unique to the way you watch any other team in the NFL.
Yeah, and then you look at our receivers who like you're not playing in this offense if you can't block. And like Juwan Jennings, probably the best receiver I've ever seen in blocking. And we got Chris Conley, who's like the fourth or fifth receiver who's outstanding in blocking. Debo's gonna block. Like everyone's gonna block, and all our schemes is like, man, we have so many different schemes on how to block the Sam linebacker, or how the motions that we have with our tight end or our fullback coming in motion and destroying a DN. Like, we have so many different wrinkles, and it all works because everyone is bought in on blocking.
I agree, and I think honestly, you said this before, but you've been playing this long because you're smart. I think all of you guys are smart, because when you talk about the motions and the shifts, and it gets you guys in the perfect position.
Sucks.
Dude, hey, I've been there, man. Where you're like, wait a minute, was there a Zemo on this? Shit, what's going to happen? And then all of a sudden, the linebackers shift, and you're like, okay, we're good. Never mind, we're good. But you kind of brought it up, and you talked about the blocking on the outside, and I want to talk about a guy who I am a huge fucking fan of, Kittle. And you talk about a generational talent and a guy that you can put out there that's going to find himself open, that's going to add yak yards, that's going to show up in the run game. But what's it like playing with him, and how much fun is it when you see that he's actually having more fun blocking than he is catching an 80-yard pass?
Yeah, it's great, man. It's like we are definitely like kind of the same in the huddle. Like, man, in the huddle, I'm talking shit. I'm fucking dancing. Like, I'm messing around. Like, and then Kittle's doing the same thing. He's always looking at the camera or doing some Kittle stuff. And I remember when he pancaked what's his name, Hutchinson during the playoff game. I had a good block on that play too, and
that came out of nowhere.
I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for one.
But we both get back in the huddle, and we're both just like talking to each other, like hyping each other up, because we're obviously, after that play, you're looking up and seeing.
Oh yeah.
And Kill's like, oh, he smacks me in my chest. He's like, you got him too. I was like, ah. It's just man, it's a fun time playing here.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's one of the reasons why you guys are never out, because you guys always look like you're having fun in the huddle, and there is no animosity, and everyone's kind of bought in, like you said. But where does that start from? Like, we talked about John Lynch as one of the guys. He played forever. He's fucking Hall of Famer. Dude's a beast. Kyle Shanahan, his dad is a monster. He's been doing this forever. But there's got to be players on the field that are setting the bar. Who on the team right now is setting the bar to where it is like, hey, we are a championship team constantly?
Well, I think it definitely has to do with how long a lot of these players been with Kyle. When you talk about Debo, you talk about Kittle, Fred, Bosa. They've all done so much together. Countless NFC championship games, 2 Super Bowls. Like that core nucleus, you believe in them, and you understand. Like me, when last year I came in as like, I'm just an extra piece here. Like I don't need to do anything but, do my job, and the rest of these guys are gonna take us to where we need to be. And if you go back to like, the last, I think, 4 years, that after 8 weeks, I think they've been 4-4, 5-3, 5-3, and 4-4, and then, they've been to the NFC Championship game, I think, every time since.
Well, do you think that's because listen, I played with Buffalo too, and I understand, like, there always felt like some teams, when things go wrong, panic sets in, right? Like panic sets in, or people start getting really nervous and people play tight. I don't see that with this group. Like
it starts from the top down. I think Kyle is, look at his track record. Whenever Kyle's calling the game, like, I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to come back. Like that Lions game, I think it's 24-3 at halftime, or whatever it was. And like, I remember it was like the end of the third or the start of the fourth, and we were like tied. And like, I'm just like, holy shit, we're like, I'm on sideline. I'm like, holy shit, we're tied. And I just say that, like, not talking to anyone, but just like to myself, like out loud. And Jake's like, yeah, bro, what do you think? Like, we believe we're that team. And I think it starts with Kyle and Jon, what they built here and the players they brought in.
I want to be respectful of your time. We got you here for a little bit longer, but we always like to ask guys, because we always have so many good locker room stories. We already have so many fun times that we've had and we've shared on this show. What are some of your best moments, whether it's with Buffalo or with New York or whatever? Like, what are some of your favorite behind the scenes moments with your guys, whether it's on the plane or whatever it is? Like, we love just giving the audience kind of a dive deep. I mean, some of my favorite memories with you are playing Call of Duty until like 2 a.m. with the old Mongo over there. I don't know if that's still your nickname, but that's what we used to call you all the time. Mongo.
I'm trying to be a grown up now.
So, I know we got kids now. We haven't played in a while, but what are some just like your favorite moments of we get to be playing in the NFL and playing a kid's game as adults? Like, what are some of your favorite moments?
Well,
that you can tell on here. Yeah, PG ones.
We could get
PG-13. We can go a little PG-13.
Come on.
Yeah, that's a hard question, dude. Fuck. Oh man. That Denver game in Buffalo when we won the the AFC East for the first time. That one was always special because that was the start of the turnaround there, and that flight home was very fun. That's all I can say about that. But it was very fun, and it was a long flight because we were coming from Denver. Or I will say, another thing that sticks out is when we lost to the Chiefs in the AFC East, the AFC Championship game that year. When we landed at like 3:00 in the morning in Buffalo, and there's just a freaking sea of people, and like driving home, like driving through that sea of people, like it was probably like I got emotional because I was already emotional because we lost and we were going to go to the Super Bowl, but like seeing that amount of people like there at that time, and like they're all hitting your windows as you drive by and like cheering for you. That was one of the coolest moments of my career.
You feel like you kind of let them down too. You're like, I'm so sorry. I tried so hard because when we lost the Super Bowl, they did the same thing, and you were like, please don't look at me. I'm so sorry. And it brings you in.
And I was like, and I knew I was about to get fined for what happened after that game. I was like,
what'd you do?
That's when Josh threw the ball. He got sacked and like threw the ball at the dude. And
he
was standing over Josh, and I come running and
cleaned him up.
That's why I've always loved you, Jon. You're just a true lineman. And hey, that's one of my questions that I gotta know. You've played with a lot of great dudes: Deion Dawkins, Trent Williams. Who's your favorite guy to play with, and why?
When I was in Oakland, we had Rodney Hudson and Gabe Jackson, and those two. I was playing right guard, and Gabe was left guard. Rod was center. Those are special times. I mean, we sucked, so we were playing just for the love of the game. Those times are special, and those are some of my best friends still to this day. So I would say them.
I could say I don't know Gabe Jackson, but Rodney Hudson was probably one of the nicest guys I ever met. He was on the NFLPA with us. And he was one of the coolest guys. Like, you would just be like, Rodney, what's up? He'd be like, oh, hey, man, what's going on? You'd be like, oh, this guy's such an old lineman.
The most miserable prick ever. Like, every day, like, he's so negative, and I love it. I love it.
Crusty vet. He's a crusty center, dude. They're all like,
We live really close to each other in Florida, probably like 5 minutes from each other, and we hang out often. And like he's just so miserable every day, all day. So and like if he's not miserable, he's not in a good headspace. Like
you okay, bud?
He basks in his misery.
You gave me a hug. Are you all right? Is everything okay?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's a great dude.
Well, so obviously we want to play in the league as long as we can, but what's kind of next for you? I know that you worked with Lee Smith, who obviously I was a teammate too. I know that you're doing he opened that gym out in Nashville, and so I know you're moving out there, but kind of what is the post-career plan for you and the family as you kind of maybe transition here the next couple of years?
I'm gonna try to get off the grid, buddy.
I know.
I got some cows. I'm about to get some when I fully retire. I'll have a farm, some chickens and some goats, and then I'll be working at Triple F, coaching up some linemen. But yeah, man, I'm excited to be a dad and a hippie. I mean, it's gonna be a great time.
I love
that.
that.
And because you bought a farm out in Nashville, correct?
Yeah, Knoxville.
Excuse me.
Are we allowed to come down and see you?
Yeah, you guys come on. I got 100 acres. You guys
if we can find him. I would say if we can find him.
Oh, I can find anybody.
Yeah.
I'm off the grid with you, buddy. Don't worry. I know where to find you.
Yeah.
Well, Jon, we really appreciate you coming on, man. It's always great to catch up with you. Obviously, excited to see you get back out on the field hopefully this year and make a run, but great career. Obviously you were a great teammate, always been really close. And whenever I have clients, I always shoot you a text like, hey, take care of my guys. And you've always been phenomenal, but we'll definitely have you on the show again, but really appreciate you coming on and good luck the rest of this year.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely,
thanks, Jon.
Buddy. All right, guys, that's the O-line committee here. I'm Alex, or that's Alex. I'm Jeremiah, Jon Feliciano. If you haven't already, please press the like and subscribe button to help us grow here on the offensive line committee. This is an offensive line lifestyle podcast.